Eszterházy Podcast.
Hi, this is the Eszterházy Podcast, the voice of youth, a podcast about international student life. My name is Kristina Nagy, and actually today's is a special broadcast. Next to me is
Lindsay Quinn
from the Eszterházy Károly Catholic University International Student and Scholar Services Office. And our guest today is
Ahmed Mahfouz.
one of Eszterházy's alumni student who is doing an Erasmus internship now. Today we will talk with them about life after scholarship. Ahmed, those who know you personally will know that you are a really lively, dynamic person. You came to Eger from Egypt in 2020 on a Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship to study at the Eszterházy Károly Catholic University, right? What was that like? What did you gain from that experience?
I would say it was actually a life-changing experience. I wouldn't think that I would have been now here doing that podcast with all of you here without this. So I think it was really, like you can say, like 180 degrees changing for it. Very wholesome experience.
That's really good for me to hear, somebody who works for the university and works with our international students. So I'm glad it was positive and something memorable. You lived in the dorm, if I remember correctly. How did that go? And what advice would you give to those who are living in the dorm?
Yeah, well, I can say that you will not be a Stipendium Hungaricum student if you don't live in the dormitory. And I'm glad that even here, I managed to somehow spend my 3 years in the dormitory. You can say that the experience that you get out of the dormitory is something that you cannot find it anywhere because, as you said before, you must somehow have your own community and group that you would have something mutual between them. So I would say that dormitory, you don't have just one group, but it's like something that you can choose this one here, you can be this here, and you can be there. But I would say that the experience was actually pretty good to go through it.
What are some of your favorite memories from the time here at Eszterházy?
Well, I can say that it was mostly sharing with the other students because I am someone who believes that there is a story behind every person that's waiting to be told. But you have to find the right key to enter their life because, for example, like Lindsay here, she's from a different culture, different things at all, not the same as mine. So I'm like, hi, my name is Ahmed. Nice to meet you. How are you? How is the weather today? So like, ABC. And then like after 2 hours, have you watched Harry Potter? Something like that. So at one point you have to start gradually, but if you are actually willing to go through the extra step of knowing the person and get to know more about them, maybe you're waiting for the next story and maybe that person is gonna be having so much experience with you. And I'm glad for it, of course, Lindsay. And for the memories, I would say it was mostly about the birthday that we used to have because all of the people used to gather in one room. I'm not gonna say it's the piano room, of course.
I remember this time.
And it was mostly about taking the picture, sharing it with the other people, like, oh, we post this one on Instagram, I'm going to mention the other. And then the talks keep going on from there.
And what are some things that you struggled with here in Hungary? Are there any big cultural shock issues that you experienced?
So I would say mostly it was the sake of the language because as for my mother tongue language, Arabic, we don't have that much of, I don't know, is it called vowels like and these letters, yeah. But I would say that it was mostly because I was going to dive into the culture and you cannot just take the culture as one side, but you also have to take the language with it. So the language was something that I had to start with it and I can say that I was pretty much good by now. It takes a little bit of practice, like Duolingo, like did you do your practice for today? And I would say also that it was a little bit easier because of the friends that I have made, especially the Hungarian ones. And shockingly with it, it came with the internationals who were helping me with the language. I don't know how, but it was this way.
Yeah, I think that's really important. That's one thing that's for sure is that that's a challenge here as a foreigner. The language is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
And it's not something you can just learn in a few months. So
No.
You can learn some basic things, but it's quite challenging.
Yes, totally agree. And especially when you know that there are lots of words that can come and the one word can have like lots of letters and then there is a shorter one like Vizont la Tashra and then Kosono and then Kosi. I'm like, okay, which one to say? Just pick Kosi or Kosono.
But I guess the dormitory community could help struggling with these things, especially because you live together at the dormitory also with Hungarians and with other foreign students, as you mentioned.
And it was a lot easier actually to make, you can say, events mutual with the Hungarians. Because I think it was on Tuesday that mostly or Wednesday that they have their own games. And if you're just going downstairs and we looking, I'm like, guys, do you want to join? Yeah, we can join. And it was easily accessible to get the card games. And I remember there was this one guy who would have like this pile of card games with him. But like, guys, do you want to play after football? Like, do you want to play after lunch? I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. And we even used to invite him to our card game, so it was not just one way, but it was going back and forth.
A Hungarian.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, indeed.
I guess this is why our university is special about this Erasmus program, because you have that dormitory community, you have a chance to make friendship even like out of the university building.
Yeah, and I think actually while you were here is the time when we set up the international room, right? So that was another opportunity for a place to meet, a place that's specifically for international students, filled with board games and all kinds of snacks and things like that. So hopefully it helps build community better.
Yeah, I think it was not only abided by the piano room. Like, if we leave the piano room, no, I don't know you anymore, or something like that. We used to play football together. We used even to have like these events in the corridor of like A1 building where there's International Food Day, and anyone would say like, come, free food. Do you want this? Yeah, free. Come, just bring a plate or something. All the rooms are open. There is this big lines of table in there. You can eat whatever you want, drink, have some good laughs.
If you could go back and give any advice to younger Ahmed before coming to Hungary, what would you say?
Learn how to cook. I think that's the most important part. And it doesn't matter how expensive the laundry pods you're gonna buy. It's always gonna be the same. Like, just go to the green market, buy the pods, and that's it. But like, to talk seriously, I would say it was mostly about being more like depend on yourself. It's not like this magical thing that you're gonna just leave it and somehow it's gonna fold itself, the laundry. But I would say be more dependable.
I think that's something we all need to learn, right? I wish I could have told myself that when I was younger too.
Yeah.
Now, part of my job is that I help lead the Mentor Network, which you were one of the 2 leaders of the Mentor Network among students. And we're curious if you can tell us a bit about your experience as a leader of the Mentor Network. And also, if I remember correctly, you graduated first in your class. And so how did you balance leading the Mentor Network and doing school and being on top of all that? Because I know you organized a lot of things. What was that like for you, being a mentor and leader of the network and balancing that with school? And why is the Mentor Network important?
So I would say that actually it all started when I saw posts about the events that, yo guys, come to this party, we will have drinks, it's okay that you come for the first day, breaking ice and all of that. And when I came there, I saw how the spirit was filling the room. Like, these people, I haven't seen them before in my life, but here we are just dancing, not doing anything but just dancing there. It was a really good experience. And I wanted to be part in that, not just participating, but also organizing in it. And I think it was important because once new student comes, they have this tendency to, I'm going to stay in my room, I'm not going to see anyone, I have just 1 semester if you're Erasmus, and if I'm a stipendium, it's just whatever, 2 years, 3 years, and I'm leaving. I don't want to make friends and that's it. But I feel the essence of staying here is that you need to know the people, because if it's not, like, why did you leave your country in the first place? So I started in the 2nd semester, I think. It was being a leisure activity. So mainly I find that this event before had people more than 20, for example, in it. I would try to talk with one of the mentors, like, hi, can we, for example, book this place? And if we manage, it's good. And it lasted for 2 semesters. And then after that, I was the vice president of ESN Eszterházy. And actually, it was a pretty good experience because actually you can be also exposed to other chapters, like, for example, ESN page, mesh calls and all of these, and you can see what events they are doing, so you get inspiration also from them. And after that I became mentor. I don't know how to phrase it, like
head mentor, I would say, or mentor leader.
Yeah, but mostly for the dormitory. So any one of the international who would have a problem with the laundry, like Moshogot, and anything of that, I would be the one that would usually talk with the security. And I think that came handy because of the Hungarian language, like one word from here and one word from there, voila, now you have a sentence. So I would say I spend most of my time when I'm a student being a mentor. And for the balance between being the first in class and doing this, it all comes down to having a routine, because if you don't have a routine, then that means that the day is going to own you. Like, you wake up, what I'm going to do today, I don't have anything, and then the day is going to start taking off. So my week was usually just going with the university, But I can say that it was mostly the weekend when I planned the event, and also because the students would be mostly free on the weekend.
Yeah, I can vouch for how much you did. You did a lot as a mentor. I was really appreciative of that. You were really enthusiastic about being a mentor, and that was really important. I think because coming from the student side, you could see what was needed, and me as an employee, I don't get to see that as much. And so I think you did a really good job balancing that.
Thanks.
Now you have graduated from the university and are currently on an Erasmus scholarship as an intern in the Netherlands, right? Can you please share how to come about and how is it going?
Actually, I would say it's going pretty good. It's not just that you're out of the student life, so no one is gonna be giving you 1 if you don't wake up in the morning. No one's gonna give you 2, and if you have good grades, no one's gonna give you 5 at the end. You have to be the one that takes the initiative and be like, I have to do this in order to improve myself in that aspect. So it's more now that you are more in control of yourself and your behavior. I have seen people who would be the same. I'm going to the internship, I'm gonna finish it, and I'm gonna go back, do whatever I'm gonna be doing. But you have to be with the mindset that, yeah, I'm doing this because I'm gonna learn from it as the same way I was learning the university. And for the Netherlands part, I'm already loving the city. I'm staying in Utrecht and I love the city already.
And what was the process like of applying to do the internship with Erasmus?
Yeah, so there is these sources on the university's website. You can see most of them about different places that you can apply to. And it's not just for one major. I saw lots of things in it, like I saw lots of art, and as a computer science student, I had to find the one that are only for computer science. So I can say that I had good CV, that's a good start. Portfolio, for people who are mostly in programming, they would know that you must have lots of side projects. Of course, the one from the university would help you, but if you have something from your own that you would like to be specializing in that field, that would give you a little bit of boost. Cover letter, that would help you a lot in it. Above all, you need to give it the time and the effort to apply for places, because no one is going to come to your laptop and check, oh, you have a good CV. So for all of this to happen, you just need to give it the right time and apply for it. For me, in my side, I applied to lots of places, and I was accepted in one in Portugal and Greece and Netherlands. But I went to the one in Netherlands because it was mostly close to what I was studying. And it's also cold. I like cold weather.
Yeah, you do, really. I'm surprised. And how long does an Erasmus internship typically last? How long is yours? And then what are your plans next?
So I got the option here from the university to either have it for like a period of 1 semester, which I think is like 6 months, or a full year. But as a scholarship holder, I cannot leave while studying and have the Erasmus. So I took both of them at the end once I finished, and it was 1 full year. And to answer your question, I did start it on the 12th or 14th of July 2023, and the end of my contract is going to be on the end of June 2024. So that's like 11 months, 11 days, something like that.
In all of your travels, what is the most important lesson you have learned?
I would say it's about being open to the others. So if someone, for example, is willing to know more about you, you should be also open to them. Not like, I came here to do something and I'm going to do it. I don't care about meeting the other people. So having to go through it was actually something good.
And how do you think living abroad and going to school abroad and now doing the internship, how has that changed you and the kind of person you are?
That's a big change. I cannot tell you how much is it. I would say that when I was at home, I was studying in a university for 2 years engineering, and then at home it's 5 years, and computer science here is 3. So when I left after finishing 2, I would still graduate as my friends who are studying engineering at home. And for example, when I go home for vacation, when I speak with them, you can say there is big difference about the things that we talk about. Maybe it's a different aspect, maybe it's what life demands from you, but it's mostly things that these people are going in their own track of life, and now I'm in my own track. These are two different things, and they are still my friends. We find things mutual to talk about, but you can say that the aspect or like the mindset of talking is totally different. And even now, like when I came, last Thursday here, when I talk with my friends, similarity is like 90%, but there is like this 10% of gap in it.
So it's safe to say you would recommend going abroad and Erasmus and the Stipendium Hungaricum?
Yes. Any program that you would have that would just leave you out of your family, home, and you would be actually depend on yourself. That's a experience that you would totally have to go through.
Ahmed, thank you so much for taking time to come and chat with us. We wish you good luck for the future. To our audience, in case of further questions, student can reach the international office at the following email address: studentmobility@uni-esterhazy.hu.
Eszterházy Podcast.